You're watching Wjzz Cool Tv live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, sponsored by the Highland Park Chamber Organization, which is a very wonderful and uplifting organization that's trying to move our city forward with great activities, all sorts of things, education, as anything that we could possibly have. My name is DeBlonde Jackson, Councilwoman Jackson of Highland Park. Of course, you know we have the election coming up, and we want everybody to vote. I'm going to play a little something for you. A little bebop, if you will. The person that taught me how to play bebop was Teddy Harris, so here we go. Got the station going, a little bebop jazz there. I do all kinds of genres, from classical to rock to bop to whomever is available. But this is the Highland Park show here, and we talk about a whole bunch of different things. And I am so happy to be your host today. It's a pleasure. Hopefully we can keep building up our audiences. You can call in at Wjzz Cool TV, and you'll be picked up on. We'll talk to you if you like. Or whatever, you might want to see something different or something better. I don't know. But I tell you one thing, I'm enjoying hanging out with my fellow Parkers or any other community person that's in the area that might want to follow us. We appreciate you. Today we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person on who has so many hats that I can't believe it. We did a show together. We did the Highland Park talent show a few years back. But then what I've come to find out now is she has so many. I thought that I was looking at the same person. I thought I had a lot of different things that I do, but I think she outbeat me. So this is Charlene Johnson, wonderful, wonderful person. Been in the neighborhood, I believe, since she said 7 years old. And her wonderful son, Mayor Wyndham, he was a pretty cool guy. And still hanging in with us, doing this thing. Occasionally I catch him at the gym or running up and down the street. Personally, I'm into a lot of exercising and health and things like that. I've gotten better over the years, trying to eat the right foods and that, you know. I always have to do the plate, half the vegetables on one plate, one side, and then a little meat, and then possibly a starch or something. But because I was doing it the opposite way. Half of the meat on one side, a little bit of salad and a spot of this and that. But I learned that with nutrition, that you have to do things a little bit differently, especially as you get older. Some of those foods do not process properly. And I always look at the basics, what my mom used to do and what grandma did, which was, they said, you'll be fine. Greens, beans, cornbread. We might have a little meat for you, but don't expect it. But those were the staples back in the day, and I think it's still adequate now. And you know what, I wanted to ask you something too, Charlene. Haven't you noticed that healthy eating, I'm not sure what some people call healthy could be just Cheetos all day. I don't know. But I think it's very important to talk about it. And those are some of the things I try to touch on as a councilwoman in Highland Park. Healthy eating, having your proper vegetables, fruits, and such, and drinking plenty of water.
Right.
So what do you suggest? I know, hey, you look real healthy. You look extremely healthy. So.
Well, thank you, Councilwoman Jackson. I always call you DeBlonde, but
yes.
On the show I will call you Councilwoman Jackson.
You can still call me DeBlonde. You're my favorite. So.
I am so grateful to be here with you to talk about Highland Park. I love Highland Park, as you said. I've been in Highland Park since I was 7 years old, and I won't tell you how old I am now, but I'm old enough to have all this gray hair, and I am old enough to still be healthy, and I really trace it back to Highland Park schools. When we were in Highland Park schools, we started home ec in the 4th grade. And I learned about the 4 basic food groups in the 4th grade. And ever since then, I've been concerned about eating healthy, eating vegetables and fruit and drinking water and not much meat. As a matter of fact, we couldn't eat much meat in my family.
We didn't have any.
I'm the oldest of 7. And my mama would take 1 chicken and feed all 7 of us and my father. So we never ate a lot of meat, but we always ate a lot of greens, beans, cornbread, and fruit, water, Kool-Aid. But anyway, we learned over the years, cut the Kool-Aid out, cut the pop out, but keep the greens, the beans, and the cornbread. Cut the pork out of the greens. Now I use olive oil to season the greens and seasonings, and they are just delicious. Everybody loves them.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, staying healthy physically, spiritually. I'm blessed to minister to many people.
Oh,
spiritually.
I forgot to mention. We got to talk about all the jobs that Miss Johnson has. She has quite a few. Go ahead, Miss Johnson.
Yes.
How many? Talk about all the thousands of jobs and all the wonderful things you've done in the neighborhood.
I've been blessed. I have been blessed to be a learner.
Yes.
I'm a lifelong learner. I enjoy learning about everything God has created. So because of that, I'm a teacher. I was a teacher for 8 years in the Detroit public school system. And I took a leave of absence to have my son, Fred, who's now 40 years old. He turned 40
that's a long
on
leave.
the 24th of,
That's a long leave.
of October. He turned 40. But while I was on my leave, I learned about the nonprofit world. And so I started volunteering at my church. And I helped the church develop a nonprofit corporation called REACH that was reaching everyone in ministry, care, and help. We did everything from building new housing to training people in the construction trades, by which I was able to get my builder's license so that the people who we trained could then work on the houses that we were renovating.
Wow.
We did summer youth programs. We did senior citizen programs. We had the only neighborhood-based small business development center in the whole state of Michigan in partnership with Wayne State University.
Wow.
So I was blessed to lead REACH for about 13 years, and then God called me out to a citywide work where I was working with other neighborhood and faith-based organizations all across the city of Detroit, and our partners in the university, the governor's office, the mayor's office, businesses and corporations. And in that effort, we helped other neighborhood organizations get funds to do projects in their neighborhoods all around the city of Detroit. That was under the Michigan Neighborhood Partnership.
Let me ask you one question.
I was the founder and CEO of that organization.
I got one question for you.
Yeah.
Seeing that you did all this work, how did you keep up with it? I mean, what was your main drive or thrive? What got you motivated? What was your main motivation?
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm a learner. That was one. I love learning new things, being creative, and starting new things. That's who I am. I'm also a servant leader. My calling in life, my purpose in life, is to be a servant leader through whom God can equip, enable, and empower others. So all of that I was blessed to do was really all about nurturing children, strengthening families, and revitalizing neighborhoods. And helping other people around me, working with me in partnership and collaboration to do that. And so it's been a 40-year work.
Wow.
40 years of that. I ended up leading or founding the Detroit office of the Michigan Nonprofit Association, which is the trade association for nonprofits in the state of Michigan. And then 2009, the economy collapsed. 2008, 2009, the economy collapsed. And the Detroit office had to close down for the Michigan Nonprofit Association. But I saw that as really God opening up a door for me to help my adult children who all have visions and dreams and wanted to do things in the business sector. And so we started a family business, and it's called Ascension Development.
Ascension Development.
Ascension Development Group. And as the name might apply, the whole purpose of Ascension Development Group is to help people ascend. And so what we do with our family-owned business, as we operate a business incubator, where we have new entrepreneurs coming in and renting space, and we support them. They're either hairstylists, barbers, nail techs. We have a recording studio, boutique owners. They all come together in a building called Park Place on Woodward and Highland Park.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Park
talk
Place.
about let's talk about Park Place a little bit. I have been, in fact, it's a wonderful place where people just can come. You have a lot of barbers and salon artists and hairstylists, and
there's a recording studio.
Yes, you got everything there.
There's a phlebotomist upstairs. There are nonprofit organizations in the building, and they all kind of have this wonderful community relationship going on, and people come, and it's a community hub. It's really a community-based economic hub in the city of Highland Park.
Now, if somebody wanted to get in contact with you guys there, what is the best way to contact you? Would you say?
They can call me. My phone number is 313-595-3560. They can call. They can text. They can email. CTJ for Charlene Turner Johnson.
CTJ.
EXEC for exec @gmail.com. Call, text, email.
Okay.
Here's a pen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, or just stop by the Park Place, 15885 Woodward, on the corner of Midland, across the street from the high
should.
school site.
You know, come and get a tour. I mean, it looks great in there.
I
went in there. I went in there and looked at the studio. It's very good. Her son is very, very good with what he does. And in fact, I'll probably be doing some work there myself. Copying stuff, because we need a new theme song for her.
We have community meeting space.
Oh, that's beautiful to know.
We have nonprofits. My sister's keeper and my brother's keeper operate out of that building.
Yeah.
And
they do a wonderful job.
With mentoring young people. Excellent.
Your daughter, Tanisha Wyndham, she is just outstanding.
Yeah.
And I must say that it has made a difference in a lot of the young people's lives. And I really appreciate that, because that's a talent in itself.
Absolutely.
Because our young folks, they really need someone to help mentor them, help them. They're going to be the ones taking our places. So we need to show them how. And I think she's doing a wonderful job on that.
Yeah, she's really called to that mission, to that purpose for her life. And so the mentoring program helps the young people get in touch with their purpose and helps them to understand that all of us are unique and gifted, and all of us have a very specific purpose that only we can accomplish.
Absolutely.
We were born for a reason, and no one else can do exactly, specifically what we were born to do.
Yeah.
So she works with them around what she calls practical life skills.
Oh,
understanding
beautiful.
their purpose.
Right.
Understanding how to make plans. Understanding how to get along, how to build a team, all those, how to manage finances, how to manage your feelings.
Yeah, I want to bring my god baby there again. She really,
because
she's she really came when she was a little girl. She still remembers Tanisha. I was like, wow, that's been like almost 4 years now. She still remembers Tanisha.
The kids love Tanisha.
But the thing about it is when you are good to children, they will never forget you.
Right.
And that's the thing about it. We have to be good to our children. Be good to yourself.
That's true.
But be good to the children, because, leave it or not, if they're going to be the ones helping us out. So we have to train them. And they're going to be the ones in our governments and everything else. And in fact, running our businesses, running the government and everything.
Absolutely.
And those are really important things that we need to be, need to consider.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's why, I say the three things in my life have always been around nurturing children, strengthening families, and revitalizing neighborhoods. So revitalizing neighborhoods for me has been restoring, recovering abandoned properties. I hate to see so many of our houses in Highland Park being abandoned and then demolished. We have such wonderful housing in Highland Park.
The architecture, a lot of the
is unique.
And a lot of the architecture, believe it or not, was done by the Kahn family.
Yeah, Albert Kahn.
Yeah, the Albert Kahn family done a lot of the architecture.
And other famous architects. I'm very blessed to live in the historic district for 40 years. A beautiful historic district in Highland Park, and our housing is very unique. So the other thing that we do, in addition to the business incubator, is we do restoration of abandoned property in Highland Park. single-family homes. And then we also provide apartments for people that are transitioning from homeless shelters into permanent apartments.
Well, maybe we should. We need to get more information on that, because I know a lot of people are interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe possibly I can hook you guys up with some folks that really need help. Like if I got a family right now that's looking for a at least a 2-bedroom something. But stuff like that. I like to put people together. That's just been my thing.
Partnership and collaboration is definitely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited because we're celebrating next year our 15th anniversary.
That's what I'm saying. The 15th anniversary.
15th anniversary
that
celebration
is just really
of Park Place.
But you know what? That should bring out all the bells and whistles.
Yeah,
How about that?
So August 14th, 2022. It's the 15th anniversary celebration of Park Place. So we plan on having a big block party.
Oh, I can't wait.
Showcasing all of the people who are at Park Place and showcasing the musical talent of Highland Park, including Councilwoman DeBlanc Jackson.
Yes.
Who's a very talented musician, and we want to showcase as many Highland Park musicians and talents as we can. We want to have food trucks out there so people can, get delicious food. We want to have spots for vendors, Highland Park vendors.
Wow.
Showcase Highland Park, because Highland Park is really a wonderful place. There's so many gifted and talented people, and so many people who want to see the city succeed.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Now, I'm looking at all these headlines in Highland Park. And it's like, wow, can we get enough bad publicity?
Yeah, we get more than enough.
But you know what? What I look at, for all the bad publicity that I see, there's a lot of good publicity that nobody even looks like.
About.
Like, for instance, what your daughter and son have are the hidden treasures of Highland Park that children can get into and be successful. And these are the things that I would like to promote, so that folks can say one thing, well, there's nothing for children to do, or there's not this, but there's this one entity that's helping children not only socially, but financing certain things that's appropriate to having a social situation.
Right.
Like I remember a while back they talked about cotillions and that, but then I remember your daughter taking the young ladies out for lunch and dinner and showing them how to put the napkins on their laps and showing them how to use the fork and knife, because sometimes those things get overlooked. And we need to know, and groups like My Sister's Keeper, My Brother's Keeper, they sort of help keep the children in the loop as to what to expect when you go out. I remember her taking them to the different places where kids go. What is it, Quest thing and all those little fun places.
They're always going
my gosh.
Some kind
and
of
they have a
trip
ball
somewhere.
Yeah.
And she's done beauty pageants. She's done prayer breakfasts. She's gone on college tours. She took the kids on the historically black college tour, and she's just doing a lot of wonderful things to expose our kids to the world, and to help them understand how valuable they are in the world, and how they can make tremendous contributions, And now she has kids who are in college who've gone through My Sister's Keeper mentoring program.
And that's a big thing that's really important. In fact, starting the children early out mentoring, I think that's the most important thing that can happen, because oftentimes a lot of the parents may not know exactly how to educationally train the children. But when you have outside help, such as what Mayor Wyndham is doing, what Tanisha's doing, and others, I mean, it really is a big help in a young person's life. It gives them a chance, a step, and see, that's what we're talking about here in Highland Park. 5 years from now, I can see Highland Park taking on shape, if not sooner, looking very different. And what I'm very appreciative of, whether people know it or not, is the fact that Woodward looks so much cleaner. I mean, of course, there's a lot that we can do, but then I noticed that all we have to do is just take it little by little, and we'll have things looking and being just the way we want here in Highland Park. And that's the whole point. we want to change things, but change it in a nice, slow, progressive manner. But everything is shooting positively.
Right.
I always said you have to aim high.
Already, things are changing. There are people moving in that are renovating these abandoned houses. That's a good thing because we need to build up our tax base.
Yes.
So we want people to move in that have middle income jobs, careers where they can pay taxes, and we want property taxes. So we want to build new, and we also want people to start businesses to
grow.
To grow. And that's one of the things that my father worked at Ford
and my dad worked at Chevrolet right there before they transferred it to Hamtramck to Mountain Road.
Yeah,
and it's just
we didn't have uncles in the furniture business, I say.
Right.
Uncles in the furniture business. But now, now that we have a family business, we can expose the kids to what it's like, through small business ownership. That's how many families are able to create the wealth that they need to send their kids off to college to start other businesses, in their families. And so it's important to teach the kids about investments and, wealth management and how, just over time, if you make investments in yourself, in your education, and in building your skills, building relationships, and understanding about these things that as we were growing up, didn't really have access to.
What's really funny too is that as a musician, my mom always says, well, you're going to need something else to do. Then I thought about it. Well, I guess I will. I said, music is enough though. But I love houses. Yeah. I love to look at them. I love to go in them. So I became a realtor.
Me too.
And I always wanted to find out about insurance and knowing the differences. So I became an insurance salesperson. Yeah. So I've been doing these things and playing music all my life. Yeah. And what I love is I remember when I first started out in the real estate business, I would go on these beautiful, magnificent mansions in Rose Point and share and show and sell. This was a long time ago, but that I started. But the thing about it is learning something. And I've heard people say that a person will have 7 different things that they do in their lifetime. Yeah. And I believe that's true. Yeah, I believe that's really true because I'm looking at you, and then I look at all your successes, and then I look at your daughter, and your sons, how they have so many multiplying things that have added to their lives and moving them forward. It's just exciting, really.
That's the thing, you don't really know how something is going to happen. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the nonprofit world, but I ended up 40 years of nonprofit work. I mean, I was able to travel to countries in Africa, sharing the work that we did in Detroit.
That's amazing.
I was able to go to the White House. I had tea with the First Lady. I was able to, meet with CEOs of major corporations, all about the nonprofit work. And if you had told me when God called me to the work, that I would be doing all of that, I would have said, no way, I don't know how to do any of that. But God shows you step by step, opens doors, step by step. This is true, if you take one step, He will show you how to take the next step. Or she will show you how to take the next step. So that's all that we've done. That's all that my children do. All 4 of them. My youngest daughter is an attorney. She didn't know anything. She studied music.
Right.
She played the flute and the bassoon. And then, she decided to go to law school. And so now she's an attorney in the Copyright Office in Washington, D.C., reviewing thousands of her team, reviewing thousands of applications for copyrights.
Wow,
you just don't know. My younger son, Fred, he's got so many gifts. Talk about gifts. He's done the photography. He's done the recording studio. He's done the sound engineering. Now he's doing construction management.
Wow, that's amazing.
His gift, Yeah. I mean, so just taking little bitty steps allows you to take the next step.
Wow, that's
amazing. If you have a heart to serve, if you have a heart to help people, I believe that's just the greatest thing in life. Helping people, whether you're doing it in a school setting, I taught for 8 years, whether you're doing it in a nonprofit organization, whether you're doing it in a for-profit organization, whether you're doing it in the church, my role, any of those roles, if your goal is really to help people,
It's all
It's
matters.
an awesome life.
It's all
a
matters.
wonderful
It all
life.
matters.
You know, and not to say that there aren't problems.
Yeah, there's problems with everything.
There's problems with everything, but the bottom line is be willing to serve and be willing to learn and grow.
Yeah, that's
And
you know
just,
what?
Just awesome.
That
what
is
we
just
can
so
do.
cool. Just what you just said. When I got out of the Air Force, I was in the 86 when I got out of the Air Force. Believe it wasn't. I had to go on unemployment because there weren't any jobs at the time. But then I started managing restaurants.
Yeah.
And I was very good at it.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I enjoyed it. But that's how I learned a lot about business as well. Because you learn about budget managing.
Right.
You're learning about you're going to buy what is being on demand and what is not so demanding. So you learn a lot in business in different ways.
Right.
And by having all these different jobs, I never knew. I always asked, why am I doing all this stuff?
Yeah.
But come to find out, it really helped me in the long run
Yeah.
to really have a better business understanding and a better financial secured background because I did it OJT, if you will.
Absolutely.
On the fly. So
Absolutely.
when you're doing it like that, it's like you're thrown from the frying pan into the fire.
I call it real life education.
For
I
sure.
call it real life
For sure.
education. As a teacher, 8 years I was in the classroom, but in developing nonprofit organizations, I was involved in real life education. I was learning, the people I was helping, they were learning, the people that were working with me, we were all learning real life education. How to solve real problems on a day-to-day basis, how to get along with real people, you know. So classroom education is important. But just for example, my son, DeAndre, he was in the Navy for, I think, 6 years, traveling to countries all over the world. Well, if you're doing that, traveling all over the world, you're learning about all these different cultures, histories, you know, governments, businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So there are just so many different ways that we can learn and grow and develop. Everybody doesn't have to go to college. We just ran over the summer a building trades awareness program where we were exposing teenagers to the opportunities in the building trades. Tremendous opportunities to earn six-figure salaries. And because of the stigma attached to building trades, so many young people don't go into them.
They don't understand
an
it.
apprenticeship program for 4 years and be paid. Talk about on-the-job
Yeah,
training.
OJT.
You're paid to learn the skill, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, electrical, millwrights, heating and cooling, all of that or more, and you're paid. And so you come out 4 years later, no debt, you've earned money while you've learned, and then even you're able to start a business as an entrepreneur or go to work for a company, in the building trades.
Either way.
And the building trades are always going to be needed. There's only one woman, I was told, black woman, who's a master plumber in the whole of the United States, I was told.
Wow. Well,
And
we need to change that.
Yeah.
We need to change that.
Well over, 6 figures is nothing. But our young people don't know, so just exposing them.
I think what has happened is when you're coming up with a work ethic, we have to train our young people to have that. Because oftentimes people will say, well, go out and get a job.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do I fill out the application?
Right.
How do I go out and get a job? How do I do these things? And moving forward in Highland Park, how do you think, but before we get to that, I'm going to do our station ID thing. How do you think, and I want you to think about this, how do we move our children forward? How do we move our city forward?
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that have to happen. One thing, we need more housing,
Right.
and a couple other businesses and things that we need. But while you're thinking about that, you're watching Wjzz Cool TV live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Sponsored by the Highland Park Chamber Group. Mr. Pinzer-Benny is the president or the top official of the group. And we appreciate him for allowing us to come on these shows and present our attitude and our progress. And that's what we want, progress. So in thinking about that, how do you propose we move forward in Highland Park?
Well, it's a complex question. question, but I believe that there's a role for every saved soul. And by that, I mean there's a role for families, there's a role for schools, there's a role for our businesses, and there's a role for our government. And I really sincerely believe that building strong families is the base of building a strong city.
Oh, yeah.
So helping our parents to understand the value of good parenting and supporting parents to raise children is so important. Making sure the family is strong by making sure there are jobs, making sure that the family's needs are being met, that the
And what
community
about the
is
new
safe.
thing that they're talking about, too, with the child care? Do you think that's a good thing? It's a new thing that they're coming up with in the government about child care, about
not
parents
sure
being able to
What it is.
access more child care, some government-sponsored child care. I heard a scuttlebutt about that. I want to find out more information about
I don't
it
know what
because
that's
that's
about,
important.
but I was actually director of a child care center. We called it the Rosa Parks Child Development Center at my church for 10 years. And having quality child care centers is important so that parents, especially single moms, can work and have someone help them to take care of the children. You know?
Yeah, see, because a long time ago, we had the family network. And
Right.
it was more in-house, if you will,
Right.
in my neighborhood. Like if
Grandmothers.
mom was there, but grandma was home
Grandma
too, and
was
Auntie Edna,
Yeah.
and all the other aunties that was in the neighborhood that really,
No, grandma is working. I'm a
yeah.
grandma.
yeah,
And a great grandma.
right,
And I'm working.
right,
I do take care of the grandchildren sometime and the great grands sometime, but I
right,
can't do it
all the time.
24/7,
Yeah.
5 days a week. Many grandmothers are working now. So
And grandfathers,
and grandfathers.
everybody
So
is.
you don't have that family, extended family to help take care of the children. So having quality child care centers is, I think, important. Plus, kids are so smart. They learn so much so quickly, you know. And to be in an environment where they're exposed to a system of learning, I think, is also important.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, there's a role for the family. It starts in the family, but then the schools have to be places where kids can really be taught at their level. I believe I helped start University Prep Academy. I was the founding board chair of that school. And our school was based on the notion that every child needs an individualized learning plan. Because all the children are different. You can't have a classroom of 30 people and teach the same lesson to all 30 of them and expect that they're all going to get it and all understand. No. Kids need individualized learning plans in order to succeed and to be rewarded based on their progress, not being compared to somebody else's progress.
Right.
So the schools, you know, we really, and having counselors to deal with these emotional issues that children are dealing with. Tanisha is a licensed counselor, actually. She has a master's degree in counseling, community counseling. And so dealing with the emotional issues, the stressors.
Wow.
The kids are faced with so many stressors these days.
Yeah,
you know,
it's unbelievable.
Parents have issues, and you know, fathers who too many fathers are imprisoned. You know, and there's all kinds of stressors that kids express to Tanisha. They wrote books about it. As a matter of fact, she's got a book that they published with their stories about their hurt, their different, just all kinds of stories.
You know, in my opinion, there's a new type of slavery going on.
Yeah.
Before it was a type of thing where the parents were taken, and now it's still the sort of type of thing where the parents are taken.
Right.
In one sense of it, I mean,
mass incarceration.
Yeah, the mass incarceration, and a lot of the incarcerations might need to be looked at because it may be something where maybe it was a drug charge, or maybe it was something simple, or the wrong charges.
I have a cousin who was in prison for 40 years in Michigan.
Wow. And
he was just released a couple of years ago because of a wrongful conviction.
Right.
40 years. At that time, he was the longest serving person wrongly convicted in Michigan. And so it happens too often, especially to people, men of color, now women of color, unfortunately, are unjustly convicted and sentenced and imprisoned. And so yeah, this and the sentencing, the difference between someone who has a little bit of marijuana or cocaine, crack, or whatever, and the difference in that person who has a huge amount of cocaine, the difference in sentencing is unfair. So yeah, that whole mass incarceration thing is just another form of slavery.
Now, somebody has mentioned, I got a lot of information in the mail, like, for instance, people were saying about policing. I think what's wrong with policing is a lot of the police that go out don't know that people are mentally ill. So
well, maybe they know.
Maybe they know, but they don't know how to handle it.
How to handle the situation.
I think it would be good, possibly. Maybe they need to have some type of sensitivity training towards that, like you take a course, maybe once a year. Just take a course about mental illness because it's real.
It is real.
It's real. And I think since the pandemic, people were sort of locked in.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like caging in when you cage in your dog. Right. When they come out, they want to come out and run around real quick because they know they got to go back in this box or cage or be chained around the neck kind of thing. And we need to think about how has that damaged us, or what type of improvement could we do to encourage some of these things that we listen to on TV. To me, a lot of it is they've been bottled up, boxed up, or a lot of things going on.
The stress of dealing with COVID, that's been a tremendous amount of stress. But in terms of the police, I think the police departments need to hire more people who are trained in mental health and let those mental health workers, whether they're psychologists or social workers, let the mental health workers handle the mental health cases and not send police out in situations where it's a mental health issue,
Yeah, I can see them, actually, in the future, I can see mental health people, once they find out what's going on, just send them out to talk to the person possibly.
Yeah.
But to ensure, firstly, that they're not going to hurt themselves, or I think you need to look at that. They're not going to hurt themselves or someone else. Right. Because I'm noticing the rates of, murder and suicide is up quite exponentially.
Yeah.
They were mentioning that on TV, and I'm saying, well, maybe we need to identify the situation because the police don't know if they go in the situation, does the person have a knife, a gun, or something to try to harm themselves or them? Right. Maybe we could.
So maybe you send a team.
You have to send a partner who can identify but of course if it looks dangerous, we just don't know how to handle that because I don't think in the history we've never had this before coming on like it's coming on now. And we've had it, but it's way more mental than it has ever been. I could be wrong, but it seems like it's an uptick on it.
It seems like it to me. I don't have any statistics, but it does seem like there's more mental illness. Because there's more stress in people's lives, and people not able to handle all of that stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm moving forward in Highland Park. There's so many things that we need. There's so many people that have possibly been pulled over.
We need to build some houses. But we need to sell some of that land.
Yes.
Sell some of that land to some developers and let some developers build some houses.
But you know what has to happen first? We have to all agree to disagree. But one thing we all need to agree on, we need more houses in Highland Park. More development. We need things so that we can bring the people.
And we need repairs for those houses that are there.
Yeah.
I do a lot of walking even now with my son. He walks and walking the neighborhoods, it's almost dangerous walking up on some porches because of the steps.
It's almost dangerous walking on the sidewalk because of the infrastructure in not only Michigan but other places. People are saying it's so hard.
Yeah.
And I noticed that even the people in wheelchairs, they can't put the wheelchair on the sidewalk. They have to do it in the street because the sidewalks are so uneven. They could get stuck, can hurt themselves,
so
and then financially who's responsible if somebody hurts themselves? So the infrastructure is
and replacing those lead pipes.
Yes.
So homeowner repairs is needed.
Yep.
And not only homeowner, but rental repairs are needed.
Everything is needed. Everything is needed. I'm looking at some things. We're getting there. And the thing about it is, there are people in Michigan who care.
Absolutely.
And there are people who want to see our city look wonderful. And when you come down Woodward, it looks pretty on both sides. Now, I would love to see that.
Absolutely.
I think it would be, hopefully I can see that in my lifetime. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Because when you think of how short life is, you just never know. You could wake up tomorrow and be gone tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's true. You never know.
And
we take it one day at a time.
At a time, that's right.
So, getting all the businesses on Woodward to just clean up in front of their business site would be good. And our DPW crews to focus on Woodward and Hamilton, the other major thoroughfares, and focus on the vacant lots, cleaning those up, and focus on the vacant houses so that all of that overgrowth doesn't. We have houses that have been covered with overgrowth over the years. So focusing on those things and helping neighbors come together with block clubs. We did a lot of work when DeAndre was mayor with the block clubs, helping people to organize cleanups in their alleys and their vacant lots, and even getting some little bit of funding.
And my thing is we need funding, or we need, I would like to see more funding going to DPW for the cleanup.
Oh, if that's needed, whatever is needed to get.
Because right now, from what I understand, Willie is the only full-time person, so we need way more than that. And I know some of the council people have mentioned hiring out. How about hiring Highland Parkers who care and who want to see the city? Those type of people, what you need. Right. They may not be able to understand or know everything, but we just have to have an open mind and learn. Because to me, if you're going to love your city, you'll work for your city. Hire the Highland Parkers. May it be more people hired in the summer to really get down the overgrowth, and maybe you might have to cut back in the wintertime. I don't know what the situation is. But we do need regular people, maybe 2 or 3 on Woodward. Then when you finish Woodward, let's go down to 2nd. Let's go down to 3rd. Let's go down to John R. Let's get Brush. Let's get maybe the freeway. That would be Wayne County, so I'm hoping that we can get with Wayne County to do that, because they're supposed to do the freeways. I think freeways are county and state. I'd have to look into that. Yeah. Because I know Woodward is a state street, so there should be, like for instance, the bus stop. The people who have the buses, they should be able to consistently clean up those areas. Yeah. So that would help.
Absolutely.
The grocery markets. The people who own the the plaza was whatever, strip malls. If they could just clean off the curb, do you know how beautiful Highland Park would be if we could just get everyone to agree.
And then the other thing too is to get some facade improvement funding so that the businesses along Woodward that need facade improvement can get that funding.
Facade improvement, that's a good thing.
Improve their facades,
Facade improvement.
That would be wonderful.
That is a good thing.
That would be so wonderful. So cleanliness, facade improvement, and then, small businesses never get any breaks on taxes. Big businesses.
Right.
Big businesses always get the breaks on taxes, tax incentives, because they're going to be employing so many people. Those people are going to be paying income taxes. I get that. But still, the small businesses are the ones that sustain the city. And we never get any kind of breaks.
But you know what? We need to think about that and possibly bring that up. But what's going to have to happen, we got to get the council and the administration to come in line and agree on things that's going to beautify our neighborhoods, that's going to make us look good. It's going to make our citizens feel comfortable. Various ordinances to make our city beautified. That's why I was looking into the other ordinances, let's say with your Lathrop Village and your Southfield. And I know some people may not like doing it because it might step on a few people's toes. But like I said, when we were young, we swept the dirt because we wanted to clean up. When our parents, we didn't have, and in fact, when I was younger, we didn't have as much as what the kids have today. We didn't even have a lawn, but we had dirt to sweep. But the thing about it is, we have to have people, we have to agree to disagree. We have to come together, maybe pledge and say we're going to do, we might hate each other or we don't like each other, but we can pledge to do what's best for the citizens of Highland Park.
Yeah, I say we could always come together on the things that we agree on.
Mm-hmm.
I say come together on the things that we agree on and get those things done.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let the things that we don't agree on stop us
Stop
from
us,
doing what
right.
we do agree on.
Right, absolutely.
You know, just have a goal. This is our goal. This is what we're going to accomplish. And let those other things stay off the table until we can get this one thing accomplished. You know?
Absolutely.
Don't let the other things deter us, prevent us from accomplishing a good goal for the city. And it's all about service. I keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about service to the people. It's all about service to the community. You know, if we get our own selfish pride in the way, that's going to stop us from serving the people. A civil servant, an elected official, and you know this, it's not about you. An elected official is elected to serve the people.
Yes.
And when elected officials forget about that and get their own egos in the way, the people lose.
Absolutely.
The people lose.
Absolutely.
You know?
We have to move our thinking forward.
Right.
Our thoughts have to be forward. And we sort of have to think out of the box because
Right.
many people say, well, this is what we did back in the old day. But you got to remember, these young people nowadays are watching us. And they're looking at how our interactions and how we interact not only with each other, but with other cities, other public, and other things. And what we have to do is we have to look and say, hey, it's time that we all sit down together, come together for the good of the community, and move our city forward.
Yeah.
We can't say, well, that's my friend over there, so I'm not going to give them a ticket. They just let their property go to heck. We have a lot of people in Highland Park who are out-of-towners that own property. And oftentimes, if one looks the property up and see how bad some of it looks, you can tell, well, that person does not live here. We have to change that climate. We have to have a certain look that we want. Other neighborhoods, they tell you from the height of the grass to how they want the bushes should look uniform, how neighborhoods should look uniform. In Highland Park, we got all kinds of things going on. I'm looking at people parking in front of their houses on the grass. I'm looking at all kinds of things going on with no permit. In fact, I saw one gentleman, I guess the building department had told them that they needed a permit. The next thing I know, the whole front had fallen down, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
So I guess you would need a permit in light of that.
Yeah.
But those are the things that, you know, people might get a little, well, why do I need it? Well, that is more for safety, I would think.
Yeah. Permits are for safety.
You know, safety and hazards and things of that nature. And we just need to look at some of these things and see how we can make Highland Park look a little better. But like I said, it's really improvement on Woodward and other streets. A lot of people have come to help, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
That the folks have gotten together to help. I started the plant swap on June 12th of this year, and it seems like people have just been doing other things, and that's what you want. It's not so much I started something, but the planet thing is we're synergizing. Everybody is interested in making sure that our city looks good. Now, there's some improvements that we definitely need to make, but one thing I know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we have to take one step at a time and move forward and treat ourselves right. We don't have to just, oh, it's bad and storm and gloom and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You have to treat yourself right. You have to say nice things and have good accolades come out, because what comes out of you defines you.
Right.
If you
It
have
says
all,
more about you
yes,
than it does about whoever you're talking about.
absolutely. I mean, it defines you.
Yeah,
I mean, let's face it.
And
if
then
you,
how do you look? How do you look at a situation? You know, it's the old glass half full or half empty
yeah, right.
situation. You know, when you look at something, are you seeing the possibilities? Are you seeing how to overcome obstacles? Are you seeing those obstacles as opportunities? You know, so your perspective is so important.
It sure is.
Very,
it really
very,
is.
very important.
I think that with us coming together today, I think I've been led to bring everybody together and just to move our city forward. I think it's important. I was hoping to bring the council president on one day if he has time, and I know he has a little daughter and son, so I know he's quite busy. But it would be fun to have him or Mr. Bates, any of the council people. They all have their own agenda and doing some wonderful things, I think, for our city in Highland Park. It's just that we have to move forward, stay focused, and our focus should be on our citizens, the things that we can do to not only increase profitability in Highland Park for that bottom line, but create possible business partnerships with people, who can help move our city forward.
Right.
Of course, once we do that and the development starts happening, and the city start taking shape and form, and different wonderful things start to happen, it can be just beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to this because I can see it.
I think it's important too, as we're moving forward, to study what works.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a series of workshops called What's Working and Why. Instead of studying what's not working, instead of focusing on what's not working,
Mm-hmm.
let's study what works.
Absolutely.
Let's look at models of success in other cities that are comparable to Highland Park in terms of the size, in terms of the economy, and let's see,
Let's take a bit.
let's
Yeah.
study what works.
Because
Don't
my thing
focus
is,
on what's not working.
yeah, because we've been looking at so many times, we look at these other, well, this didn't work and that didn't work. But we got to, it's like I'm saying, you got to think out of the box.
Yeah.
Let's forget about those negative things. Now, let's move forward as to how we can really help what's going on.
Right.
But I can truly say today you're watching Wjzz Cool TV live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And, of course, you're talking to Councilwoman DeBline Jackson, and we're talking with Miss Wonderful Charlene Johnson, who have done so many things, wear so many hats. It's just unbelievable. I'm so thankful that you allowed yourself to come on the program, and I'm sitting here with you. You've done so many great things in the community, and I don't mind helping. I can always roll up my sleeves and get it going on as well. But one thing...
know. You've done that. You've demonstrated that. We enjoyed working with you. You were the master of the talent show, the 2 years that we did the talent show.
Oh, yeah.
You were the music master, arranging all the songs and music and getting all the people on stage and all of that. And, other things that we worked with you on. We just thank you for your service, and we want to look forward to your continuing, and especially as we celebrate our 15-year anniversary at Park
Oh,
Place.
yes.
That's going to be the big
That is going to be...
party.
I am so looking forward to that big block party. But again, you're watching Wjzz Cool TV live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Sponsored by our Mr. Pinzerbean, the Chamber Group. He's the head of it, doing a wonderful job putting all these programs together here at Wjzz Cool TV, his vision. And he has so many other visions, and I think that we all can collaborate and we all can come together.
Right.
And that's the main thing, coming together for the good of the citizens and for the good of the people.
Right.
And looking forward to a wonderful and very focused, positive stance on how we will move Highland Park forward, or what we look to think and want to share. And again, I'm so thankful that you could come on, Charlene. It's been such a blessing, and I appreciate it. And I would love to have you again and talk about what you just